This is an ABC color presentation.
This, my dear Nelson, is the heart and soul of international bionics. Here, the cybernetic organism, the Cyborg, is born.
Titanium steel. They won't have many broken bones.
Except for the electronic components, they're almost indestructible. Here, the cyborg starts to become human. Its brain, nervous system, memory, sensors are being installed.
How do their mental capacities compare with those of human beings?
The memory unit can store and recall all of the knowledge a man can acquire in a lifetime. Their sensors can give a faster reaction times than man's. They are universally brilliant.
Stronger in every way than man. They are not the man's equal, Admiral. They are his superiors.
I mean, mechanically superior.
Well, none of them has written a sonnet yet, if that's what you mean. Here, the cyborg becomes a living thing. Watch.
Dermoplasm.
Living organic tissue, nourished and controlled by the cybernetic components contained within the body. This cyborg is a worker. He will serve me here, perhaps help build other cyborgs. He has no identity. He needs none.
That's very practical. But I want to tell you they're a little bit frightening.
I agree. That's why some of the special purpose cyborgs I have made in the image of man. You see? Male and female created he them. My cyborgs are not always perfect. They sometimes emerge peculiar.
We have the same trouble with sophisticated computers. They become neurotic.
But with the cyborgs, it can become dangerous. They no longer obey orders intelligently. They have to be destroyed here.
Ultrasonics?
An ultrasonic furnace. When the power is on, the grids direct a continuing series of ultrasonic waves in a crossing path. When the arms converge, they incinerate anything between them.
Voyage to the bottom of the sea. Starring Richard Basehart, David Hedison, Voyage to the bottom of the sea.
effective.
Very.
Now, let me show you my masterpiece. A computer, only 6 feet across and 5 feet high, yet it has been called the 8th wonder of the world.
I've read everything you've ever published about the memory bank. It's a fantastic achievement.
Thank you, Admiral. Would you switch it on, my dear? You see, Nelson? So simple an untrained girl can operate it. Yet it contains the knowledge and the wisdom of the ages. Everything man knows from his first recorded thought here at my fingertips.
It looks as though it can assimilate oral as well as visual data.
We've gone even a step beyond that, Admiral. It will also assimilate sensory data. And now, my dear Admiral Nelson, I have a favor to ask of you.
Anything within my power.
Oh, it is, Admiral. It is. You see, my memory bank is much like its creator. It also has an insatiable appetite. Like father, like son, huh? Except its appetite is for knowledge.
And?
And you, my dear Nelson, are a very knowledgeable man. My memory bank wants that knowledge. Before you say no, let me assure you that it is no burden. Just 30 seconds and it's over.
Well, I'm sorry, but this is one Swiss bank I don't think I want to make a deposit in.
That's very good, Nelson. That's very good. But I do wish you'd reconsider.
No, not a chance.
Because whether you volunteer or not, I intend to bleed your mind into the memory bank. The choice is yours, Admiral, but let me warn you that it is not quite so pleasant an experience if one is fighting the computer. It is best to be relaxed, willing. There is no escape, Nelson.
The answer's still no.
Ulrich! 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 I implore you, Nelson, don't fight it. Give in to it. Ulrich! Bundy? Excellent. It's fine. Fine. Good morning. Morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Is the preliminary work completed?
Yes, sir. Memory banks, reactor sensors, analysis systems, and wet computer are all in place.
What is the condition of the dermoplasm?
Very good, sir. Temperature is constant and cell structure is strong and healthy.
Autonomic nervous system?
Complete and functioning, sir.
Good. 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 Get it started. Welcome back, Admiral Nelson. I hope you're not feeling too bad. Bundy.
What is it?
A simple restorative. Drink it, you feel much better.
I don't want it.
As you wish. You're only making your stay with me unpleasant, Admiral. And there's still so much I want to show you.
There's nothing more I want to see, Ulrich.
Forgive me, my friend, but you are mistaken. There is one thing you will want to see. Come closer. I want you to meet my guest. Admiral Nelson, may I present Admiral Nelson? Excellent. If one of you weren't manacled, I wouldn't be able to tell you apart. He's perfect, Nelson. He's you. He lacks only your human frailties. You will leave for the submarine Seaview immediately.
Yes, sir. Obviously, you're planning to take over Seaview. But why?
The Seaview has an important role to play in a plan that will reshape man's very future on this planet. Seaview will give me the firepower I need to force the world to accept the only thing that can save it. One absolute government. Admiral, as a scientist, you must be aware that man is basically incapable of self-government. He is weak, emotional, hysterical. If this planet is to survive, it must be governed by unemotional superior beings.
Like, cyborgs.
Like cyborgs. Unlike humans, they are keenly analytical, totally unaffected by love or hate or friendship or fear. They will create a simple power structure within which they will run the world.
They will run the world.
It will be their government.
Run by you.
Guided by me. There is no other course of action open to me, Nelson. I am the one man on Earth capable of saving this planet from destroying itself. It is my duty, and I must not fail.
Flying sub to Nelson Institute. Flying sub to Nelson Institute. Flying sub to Nelson Institute. Flying sub to Nelson Institute.
Welcome home, Admiral. We read you loud and clear.
I'm at 20,000 feet, Patricia. You're getting the lead down. I'll make a penetration approach over the ocean.
Roger, FS1. Use the south heliport. No other traffic in the area. Captain Crane's waiting for you aboard Seaview.
I'll be right there. Over and out. See you tomorrow morning.
It's not easy, but it's possible.
Well, while I was in Switzerland, I had a call from our ambassador to the Zurich Peace Conference. It doesn't look very good there.
How bad?
He said it was a large powder keg with a short fuse burning fast.
Well, that's strange. Every report we've seen calls the conference a great success.
It'll continue to do so right up to the very end. Nobody wants to make the first move, but everybody's preparing.
I'll have Seaview ready with a time. Oh, by the way, speaking of Switzerland, how is international bionics?
Fabulous. You know, Ulrich is probably the greatest genius in the world today, and he's a fascinating man to boot.
Tell me, is he really as fat as they say?
No, he's fatter.
I better get going. I have a lot of work to do.
Lee, before I forget, there's a crate in the flying sub. You have it brought up here?
Yes, I'll have Sharky on it right away.
Well, it's a new computer, so tell him to handle with care. But you should see this computer. It's about the size of my desk, and yet it'll completely automate more than 7,000 operational procedures. It's fantastic.
Your new toy will be waiting for you.
Thanks, Lee. The computer assimilates all the information, maintains second-by-second status analysis, and responds to direct voice questioning. Here, give it a try, Lee.
All right. What's our present course and speed? Chief, course and speed.
270 degrees true, 30 knots.
Right on the nose.
Your cyborg is functioning magnificently, Nelson. Now, with the Seaview safely at sea, I can send my ultimatum to the rulers of the world's great powers. They will be given 36 hours in which to recognize and defer to a newly established one-world government. If they refuse, 3 of the world's major cities will be destroyed by thermonuclear weapons from the submarine Seaview.
It won't work, Ulrich. The minute you send your ultimatum, they'll radio Seaview.
My dear Nelson, that computer your cyborg installed in the Seaview is a complete environmental simulator. From the moment it was activated, Seaview has been cut off from the rest of the world. The crew will believe they are in touch. But actually, every radio transmission, every bit of data and information they receive comes directly from my communication center deep in the base of this mountain.
And they'll hunt down Seaview and blow it out of the water.
But you forget, Nelson. It is you, your skilled mind in the cyborg, that will direct Seaview's defense. And now, if you will excuse me, I have to send some telegrams. Huh?
Gundy. Gundy, we must stop him. Will you help me?
I do not know how to help you.
Could I have something to eat? You, been here very long?
Yeah, I've been here for a long time.
You speak so seldom, it's hard to know what you're thinking.
Oh, I think of Dr. Ulrich. Sometimes I think of you.
You're lovely, Gundy. And you're very kind. Thank you.
You're welcome, Admiral. I must be going.
I thought you might be interested in what's going on. The so-called rulers of the world have once again demonstrated their infallible inability to grasp the basic realities of any situation.
Meaning they told you to go,
Well, their ridiculous posture only makes me even more certain that power must be taken from the hands of these incompetents as soon as possible. The President of the United States. The President of the United States has dispatched a special air-sea convoy to find and sink Seaview. The other nations are responding in the same ridiculous manner.
Put me through the comm sub pack. Emergency.
Aye, aye, sir. Seaview to comm sub pack. 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 Seaview, this is comm sub pack. We read you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Comm sub pack. What's happening? We're under attack.
The 1976 Zurich Peace Conference failed 18 hours ago. We're expecting a preemptive attack on the continental United States at any moment. Proceed to your missile launch coordinates and prepare for a retaliatory strike. You're on your own, Seaview.
Right full rudder. Take it down to 2,000 feet.
Aye, aye, sir.
What are your code numbers, Lee?
407-329, sir.
Mine are 95, 42, 78.
Let's see. Here are our launch coordinates.
Coordinates 2, 7, 2, 3, 4, 0, 8.
Here's our launch site, Admiral, in the Arctic.
That'll lose us joyously.
Crank her up to emergency speed, Mr. Wilson. Everything she's got.
Aye, sir.
We'll have perfect cover once we reach the ice packs.
Captain Crane is quite correct, Admiral. 100 ships couldn't find sea view among those ice floes. Nothing will interfere with the launch.
Did you really think it'd be as simple as this, Ulrich? Seaview's missiles don't fire at the touch of a button.
No? Oh. Well, we shall see, Admiral. We shall see. No, not now. If you will excuse me, Admiral, I must leave you for a brief period. Bundy? No, leave that for our guest. He must be famished. Admiral, be sure to try to patty the Strasbourg Truffet. They're exquisite. futile gesture. Even if you had destroyed the computer, it would only have been a minor inconvenience. But since you seem to be so interested in that device, I'm going to let you study it more closely. You will be safe as long as you remain within the area bounded by the sonic beams. But should you attempt to pass through them,
minutes, Admiral.
Very well.
Chief, what about those destroyers?
We've lost them, Captain.
Good. What's the damage report?
No problem, sir.
This not knowing what's happening at home is bugging me.
Me too.
Sparks, pipe stateside broadcasting into the control room.
Aye, sir. This is WJBT Boston signing off. Tune to your emergency frequencies for further instructions.
I'm picking up Radio Moscow, sir.
Это критическое положение. Это критическое положение. Последующее не является упражнением. Грозит ядерная атака. Время 10 минут, чтобы укрыть.
Kowalski, what are they saying?
They're expecting a nuclear attack. They're sending people to fallout shelters.
Радиационное убежище. Время 9 минут, чтобы укрытие.
All hands, this is the captain. Rig for war alert. I just don't believe it. I just don't really believe it. It's not possible. Admiral, I'm gonna get Tish on the video phone.
Tish? Tish.
Activate the affirmative reset.
Tish Sweetley is your radio operator.
Oh, yes. Get Miss Sweetley on the video phone. I want to know what's happening there, too.
I would have guessed, Admiral, that you always referred to your radio operator either as Patricia or as Miss Sweetley, never as this Tish. That's why the cyborg was confused. The nickname Tish was not in his memory cells. Ah, the gallant Captain Crane has finally reached the lovely Miss Sweetley. Bundy, turn the monitor around so our guest may watch the scene.
Tish, what's happening back there?
Lee, it's horrible. Absolute chaos. Everyone's trying to leave the city, but there just isn't time. It's the end of everything.
Why haven't you gone to the shelter?
I was going, but
Tish, get to the shelter now.
I was just trying to save some of the Admiral's notes, and I thought that...
Tish, save yourself. Don't worry about anything else.
Get to the shelter immediately.
All right, I'm going. I love you both. Goodbye.
I think you will agree, Admiral, that by the time your crew reaches their launch coordinates, they will believe they are at war. Indeed, they will be begging to launch Seaview's missiles.
My crew will never launch those missiles, Ulrich. Even if your cyborg orders them to, they can't. And they won't.
Fail-safe officers, man your units. Fail-safe officers, man your units.
Man your units.
Fail-safe officers, man your units.
If you're trying to figure out how I bypassed failsafe, Admiral, it might help you to know that just 2 months ago, the designer of failsafe made a donation to my memory bank. Of course, it was not entirely his own idea, as you well know.
Captain, I've got the States again.
Take cover. Take cover. You have 10 seconds to take cover. Go to your shelter.
Sharky! Find that man to his quarters.
Yes, sir.
Easy. Take it easy. Captain, I expect you to keep this crew under control. There'll be no further outbursts like this. We'll retaliate, all right, but not till we get to our launch site. Till then, I expect every man aboard to stay at his post and do his duty. Is that clear?
We're 15 minutes from our launch site, Admiral.
Very well. I'll give the missile guidance system a final check.
Sparks, can you pick up anything from the States?
I've got something now, Captain.
Speaking to you from the provisional capital outside Washington. Our country has suffered a devastating and unprovoked attack. I urge any of our fighting men who can hear my voice to strike back at the heart of the enemy's homeland with all the might at your command.
At this moment, Admiral, your cyborg... No. You are resetting Seaview's missiles. Let me show you the new targets.
Ulrich! 15 million people will be killed in those 3 cities.
An unfortunate but necessary sacrifice to guarantee the final peace possible only in the age of the cyborg.
Chief, all stop.
Engine room, all stop.
Start firing procedures, Lee. Missiles 1, 2, and 3.
What about 4?
Keep it on ready.
Why? Let's give them all we've got.
Number 4 has a 10,000 megaton cobalt warhead. I'm holding it in reserve. Lee, I'm holding Missile 4 for a special target. Now start firing procedure on 1, 2, and 3. Keep 4 on ready.
So, Admiral, it is done. In 10 minutes, those missiles will be fired onto Peiping, Washington, and Moscow. If the world leaders do not surrender within 1 hour after that, the remaining missile will be launched. And its target is such that the prevailing winds will rain 600 engines of fallout onto every city in the northern hemisphere. You know what that will mean?
Half the population of the world will die.
No, that's not half.
Ulrich, you say you want to save the world, but you're going to destroy it.
No. There will be survivors. Millions of them. And they will receive the cyborg as the savior who will lead them out of chaos into the new world of peace and plenty.
Don't do it, Ulrich. We still have 6 minutes left. Radio Captain Crane, have him abort the firing.
You forget, Admiral. The Seaview's radio has been cut off.
Then have your cyborg do it.
I cannot do that either, Admiral. He is a completely free-thinking organism. I can only make minor physical adjustments in his mechanical components. I cannot change his mind.
But there must be a way.
Only if I were to kill him.
All right, kill him.
That would be murder.
Killing millions of people is your way of achieving peace, but killing one of your cyborgs is murder. It doesn't make sense, Ulrich.
I thought a scientist of your brilliance might be able to see things as I do. But you're no different than common man, illogical, sentimental. There will be no place for you in my new world. Goodbye, Admiral. Bundy, come away from there.
Bundy, turn off the switch. How do I reach the Seaview? I've got to kill that cyborg. Tell me.
Bundy, be silent.
Tell me how.
Silent.
To launch, Admiral.
Yes, Lee.
What now? What do we do after the firing?
We'll receive orders.
From whom? Just destroy it.
We'll receive orders. And then we'll start to build a new world.
What's the matter with your hand?
I don't know.
That's Morse code. Abort firing. Kill Nelson.
Tell me, Admiral, what is it? Why should we stop the firing?
No answer to that question.
I'm going to abort the firing.
Orders are to fire on Peiping, Moscow, and Washington.
Washington.
That was Ulrich's great mistake. He made his cyborgs too perfect.
How do you mean?
Well, they're not only physically perfect, but they had all the knowledge and experience of mankind stored in their memory cells, which made them almost totally human.
Could a cyborg be human?
I'd say that being human is merely feeling as your fellow humans feel, reacting as they react. Now, Bundy had begun to feel and react. If she'd sounded the alarm before I got through to you, 15 million people would have died. But she couldn't do it.
Now, when you come right down to it, she was more human than Ulrich.
Ulrich gave his cyborgs all the strengths of man without realizing that they are oftentimes his weaknesses as well.
That would explain why your cyborg never ate anything. Ulrich must have considered appetite a weakness.
Thank you.